Money in the Bank was a professional wrestling pay-per-view event produced by WWE, which took place on July 14, 2013 at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was the fourth annual Money in the Bank event. The event received 199,000 buys, which is up from last year's event of 188,000. Background: Money in the Bank featured professional wrestling matches that involved wrestlers from pre-existing feuds, plots, and storylines that played out on WWE's primary television programs, Raw and SmackDown. Wrestlers portrayed villains or heroes as they followed a series of events that built tension and culminated in a wrestling match or series of matches. At Payback in June, a promo was aired for Rob Van Dam, last seen in the WWE in the 2009 Royal Rumble match, announcing his return to the company at Money in the Bank. On the June 17 episode of Raw, WWE Champion John Cena cut a promo in the ring, recalling his several woes and failures in 2012, and his eventual return to the main event of WrestleMania 29, where he finally defeated The Rock and won the WWE Championship, ultimately thanking the fans for their support to him and declaring an open challenge to the winner of the WWE Championship Money in the Bank ladder match at the namesake pay-per-view. As he finished, Mark Henry then came out to the ring to seemingly announce his retirement. After an emotional promo, as Cena went to congratulate him, Henry revealed the act as a ruse to attack Cena with the world's strongest slam and declare his intentions to challenge for the one major championship he has never won in his career, the WWE Championship. Later during the show, WWE Chairman Vince McMahon announced that Cena would defend the WWE Championship against Henry at the Money in the Bank event. On the June 24 episode of Raw, it was announced that Dolph Ziggler had invoked his rematch clause and would challenge Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, following Del Rio defeating Ziggler for the title at Payback. On the same show, Executive VP Stephanie McMahon announced the participants competing in the Money in the Bank ladder match for a WWE Championship contract, which included CM Punk, Sheamus, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Christian, the returning Rob Van Dam, and Kane. On the July 8 episode of Raw, Kane was removed from the match after being injured due to an attack by the Wyatt family. The same night, after both had complained about being left off the pay-per-view, Ryback and Chris Jericho were booked in a match against each other at Money in the Bank by then Raw managing supervisor Vicky Guerrero. Also on this show, the Usos won a triple threat tag team match, defeating Tons of Funk and 3 Megabytes' Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre, to become number 1 contenders to the WWE Tag Team Championship, earning a title match against the champions The Shield, which would take place at the Money in the Bank kickoff show, 30 minutes prior to the start of the pay-per-view broadcast. On the June 28 episode of SmackDown, senior advisor Theodore Long announced that United States champion Dean Ambrose, Cody Rhodes, Damian Sandow, Fandango, Antonio Cesaro, Jack Swagger, and Wade Barrett would be the participants in the Money in the Bank ladder match for a contract to wrestle for the World Heavyweight Championship. On the July 1 episode of Raw, it was announced that Curtis Axel would defend the Intercontinental Championship against The Miz, and that Kaitlyn would invoke her rematch clause and challenge AJ Lee for the Divas Championship, which AJ won from Kaitlyn at Payback. Results, Aftermath. The next night on Raw, Paul Heyman confronted the audience and explained to CM Punk why he stabbed him in the back, stating that they were the best in the world and that CM Punk couldn't beat Brock Lesnar. Punk stated that he would get his hands on Heyman and anyone else got in his way. Lesnar showed up and would brawl with Punk, but Punk would continue to fight back. Brock beat Punk until he hit Punk with an F5 on the announce table. The next week Punk would talk about how he kept getting up and that he was not afraid of Brock Lesnar. Punk next offered a challenge at SummerSlam against Brock. Paul Heyman appeared on the Titantron via satellite and accepted the match. Heyman appeared ringside when Curtis Axel faced and defeated R-Truth in a singles match, but Punk would come out to assault both Heyman and Axel. Brad Maddox came out to the ring but was interrupted by John Cena. Maddox then told Cena that he could choose his own opponent at SummerSlam. Several superstars would talk to Cena backstage about choosing them to face him. At the end of the night, Cena listened to the opinion of the audience and chose Daniel Bryan. The next week the two had a contract signing. Maddox would state that he didn't think Bryan had what it takes and told him to prove himself. Maddox then put him in a gauntlet match against Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro, and Ryback. Bryan defeated both Swagger and Cesaro, but defeated Ryback by DQ when Ryback put him through a table. Cena eventually made the save and challenged Ryback to a tables match on Raw, defeating Ryback a week later on Raw. Cody Rhodes would turn face by attacking Damien Sandow, ending Team Rhodes Scholars. On the July 26, 2013 edition of SmackDown, Rhodes would steal the briefcase while Sandow was facing Randy Orton in a match and throw into the Gulf of Mexico at the end of the show, resulting in Sandow unsuccessfully attempting to retrieve it because he couldn't swim. On the August 5, 2013 edition of Raw, Rhodes would throw the briefcase to Sandow and it was announced that both men would face each other at SummerSlam. Chris Jericho wrestled a match in a losing effort on SmackDown against Curtis Axel. After the match he would be attacked by Ryback. He would then leave the WWE in reality to tour with his band Fozzy. Randy Orton told Cena that Cena made a mistake by giving notice prior to cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase last year, and that he would take advantage of his opportunity. While Mark Henry was giving a speech, The Shield would interrupt and attack him. The following Friday on SmackDown, the Usos were set to face The Shield until they were attacked in the ring. Henry made the save and fended off The Shield. The next Monday on Raw, Henry told The Shield he was ready for a fight so The Shield would come out to attack Henry until the Usos made the save. 3 days later, The Shield would defeat the Usos and Mark Henry in a 6-man tag team match before Henry furiously went after the group, forcing The Shield to retreat. Dolph Ziggler would break up with AJ, but later on during Ziggler's non-title rematch against Alberto Del Rio, AJ would ring the bell to distract Ziggler for Del Rio to win. AJ would assault Ziggler until Big E Langston attacked Ziggler. The following SmackDown, Ziggler claimed that he was sorry for not dumping AJ sooner. The next Monday on Raw, Big E tried to attack Ziggler after winning a singles match against Darren Young, but Ziggler managed to get away. 4 days later on SmackDown, AJ would give out her State of Her Mind address, discussing her relationship with Ziggler and her friendship with Caitlyn, but Caitlyn would attack her and Ziggler would assault Langston. 3 days later on Raw, Caitlyn would defeat AJ in a single match to stay in the Divas title contention. Ziggler would come out and demanded a match with Langston, defeating him via disqualification due to AJ interfering and attacking Ziggler. Layla turned heel when she protected AJ during her title match with Caitlyn on the August 2 episode of SmackDown, causing Caitlyn to lose the match. 3 days later on Raw, Layla would defeat Caitlyn in a singles match, solidifying her alliance with AJ Lee, and later on, Langston would defeat Ziggler in a match. It was announced that AJ and Big E Langston would face Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn in a mixed tag team match at SummerSlam. See also, List of WWE pay-per-view events, Money in the Bank ladder match, WWE Money in the Bank, references. External links, official website.